Guys, by now I'm sure you all know that while I enjoy PC gaming, I'm also a big fan of console gaming. I think they're both great for different things. I think there's plenty of great exclusives on consoles still that make them worth playing. And I think that the generational releases have made consoles a much more accessible market for the mass audience who doesn't have $1,300 to drop on a gaming PC in a given month. So why am I bringing this up? Well, I wanted to talk today about some new information that came out recently from an interview with Golem.d, which I didn't actually know this was a German publisher, but it was, where Shawn Layden, the Sony Interactive Entertainment World Studios chairman, was actually speaking to Golem.d in this interview and talking about a lot of different things, including the PlayStation 5. So they were talking about the PlayStation 5 and that it will eventually happen. So that's cool. You know, we know the PlayStation 5 will happen now. We just got all the information about Xbox One X, so people are excited about that as well. But we don't really know what's going on in the meantime. So we had the PlayStation 4 normal. That's the one I still have. Haven't upgraded yet, but that's what I have. Then we had the PlayStation 4 Pro. It added 4K support. Most of these games are not native 4K. I believe they're all upscaled as of right now. 60 FPS performance boosts on certain games where the developers allowed it or, patched it in. And yeah, I mean, it's the superior version of the PlayStation 4, but it is certainly not a PlayStation 5. So during this interview, they were talking about whether or not there would be more iterative consoles, like consoles in between the PS4 and the PS5, but they didn't really completely say. What Layden said was, I believe in generations. Generations are a good thing. So philosophically, we do believe in them. We think they should continue, and the PS4 Pro is a mid-generational release. Which is an interesting statement because he talks about how generations should continue, but then right away talks about how the PlayStation 4 is a mid-generational thing, which is not a generation. So I don't know, it was a confusing thing to say, but at the very least, it does point towards the fact that they still want to have these full console generations as of right now, like, PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. The question is, in the meantime, how many iterations there will be in between these, because you could argue that the PS4 Pro is almost a generational shift. Like, it's not a huge one, but if you have phones where you have the Samsung Galaxy, 6, then you jump to the 7, that's a new generation phone, even if it's just, 1.5, 2 years. You have the iPhone, you go to 6 to 7, it's like a little over a year apart, that's a whole generation. So I guess it kind of depends on how you define generation with these statements. I don't know, I thought this was interesting, but I thought it was good. There was a lot of these rumors going around because of analyst Damien Thong. Great last name, buddy. I'm sure you were bullied in school, but I understand. So was I. But he suggested late 2018 for when he thought the PlayStation 5 would actually launch, which, in my opinion, would be a mistake. I don't work at Sony, but I wanted to look at something here for the PlayStation Pro because I didn't remember exactly when the PS4 Pro launched. So it was late 2016. I was trying to remember if it had been a whole year yet. It apparently has not. Time goes extremely fast and extremely slow at the same time as you become an old man. But I think releasing in 2018 would be a mistake. So I'm glad that they're at least not planning to do that, because Shawn Layden, even though he didn't say exactly when they were planning on the PS5, he said it would be sometime before a PlayStation 5 release. So he didn't say anything more about it, but he said it'll be sometime, which to me doesn't mean, oh, it's coming out next year. That's not sometime. That's very little time. So I'm actually super happy about that. My whole thing with console gaming has always been accessibility. Yes, I want you to make your consoles with good performance where you can. I don't want them to be a piece of garbage. But at the same time, if you remove the accessibility factor, consoles are meaningless. So if we have, an Xbox model every year and a half, we have a PlayStation model every year and a half, and each of these models is $300 or more, that's kind of ridiculous. A case that I would make like that is with the Xbox Scorpio, or now the One X, where you had the Xbox One, and then just a couple years later, I think it's been about 3, so it's not an incredible amount of time, but not 1 year. But you jump a couple years later, and then you had the One S, but you also have the One X. And if you had bought the original Xbox One at launch, I believe it was $500 almost, or no, was it $500 at launch? Yeah, because they bundled it with the Kinect, so it was $500. But now you have the Xbox One X for about that. So like, if you had bought both of these, you would have dropped $1,000 on consoles, and you might as well have gotten a gaming PC at that point. So it's there's kind of an issue here. Obviously, people will go with wherever their exclusives are that they like. Even though some of those have kind of disappeared over the years, other new ones like Horizon Zero Dawn have popped up. So it is an interesting topic. I'm interested to see where you guys fall on this, what you think about console generational incremental releases, if you care, if you don't. I don't care if every 4 years or so you want to make a new machine, but I think before that it's kind of pushing it, at least for me, because I don't really want to buy consoles that often. The points accessibility, you eliminate that, you're kind of pushing me out of that market and more towards just playing on PC personally. Especially with at least this last 3 or 4 years, I've had less of an interest in most of the exclusives that have come out. There have been some really good ones, but in my opinion, very few. So especially with like Halo 5, that was a disaster in my opinion. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. I am interested to hear what your guys' opinions are on this. Appreciate it, guys. Love you. See you later.